So please, now I'm going to share again. When I do sharing, it seems that the page goes. Let me do the sharing again. Share screen window. Okay. Is that fine?
It's okay now.
Yeah, just let me a minute. Now we have this exercise in front of you. Can you see the exercise, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, first of all, as we do before, I want somebody to read.
Yes, may I?
Read.
Yes, sir.
Check.
Yes, may I?
May I, sir?
Just raise your hands, please, and I'm checking. I'm checking right now. So, okay, Ayat, please. Ayat Mehdi, the first one.
Yes, sir.
Please read.
Yes. Why did Anthony stop investigating visiting in Bitcoin?
Yes.
Bitcoin.
A, B, C. A, he was excited. B,
B in letter A, B.
okay, go ahead.
Was actual.
Please, I want you to read first of all, Ayat.
Yeah.
Read the first one. Don't answer. Because
Yeah,
answering
was
after the recording, okay? Playing
yeah.
the.
He was excited. He was anxious. He was exhausted.
Yeah, he was excited. He was anxious. He was exhausted. Excited, anxious, exhausted.
Yes.
Okay, number 2, Asma. Nadam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What does he think is an archetype of future payment systems? A. What is this word?
Yeah. Cyberto.
I can't pronunciation it.
Crypto technologies.
Crypto technology. Yes. Crypto technology. Cryptocurrency, crypto technology, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency, crypto technology, and Bitcoin.
Yes.
Thank you.
What's the biggest hurdle in the cryptocurrency adoption? A. The knowledge required. B. The security measures. The C. The customer service.
Okay. Firdaus.
Yes. 5. When dealing with the Bitcoin, who is the change of security or fund? A. The government. PU. C. Customer service.
Okay. Thank you. So what else? Batoon.
Yes, may I? Yes, sir.
So we have
Number 5.
Yes.
When dealing with Bitcoin, who is the charge of securing your funds? The government, you, customer service.
I think we have number 4, right?
Yes, there is no.
Okay. Why does to think older people will use the cryptocurrency more?
Cryptocurrency.
They are very tech savvy.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency more. They are very tech savvy. They like new technologies. They have more money to invest.
Okay.
Sorry, sir, about the interruption, but I think there is around the letters on word
Savvy.
it's right like that?
Savvy.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Who else?
Yes, may I?
May I answer?
Just a minute. Not answered. We have number 5.
Yes, may I?
Yes. May I read?
Ra'fat. We said Ra'fat, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Learn vocabulary from the lesson.
Number 5. Number 5.
I think it's read it by Batul. Yes.
Okay. Batul, did you read number 5?
No,
Yes, sir.
for those who did. For those who did.
For those and me.
For those. Okay. Let's go to. Now we go to the listening.
Yes. Learn vocabulary from.
Just a minute.
Okay, sir.
I'm going to play the audio and then you listen.
About Bitcoin. Now, you've invested in Bitcoin before. Yeah, okay. Do you still invest a lot now? I haven't recently. Okay, so why did you stop? I stopped because I was getting a little anxious about seeing my portfolio swing like up and down by like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in a day, and I kind of decided that I would take out the money that I invested in it and just let my profits ride, basically. Right. So basically, originally, then you were using Bitcoin for speculative purposes, right? Not to actually buy things. You were using it as a means to actually make transactions. That is correct. I've only bought one thing with Bitcoin, and that was it's called a hardware wallet, which is basically, it looks like a USB stick, but it's a way to secure your funds. So do you think that in the future we will have people using Bitcoins more, like it's going to become a viable alternative actually for commerce to pay for things? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think Bitcoin will be what we all use, but it's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely the archetype for what is a pioneer. Yes, a pioneering technology. There's going to be something that is similar to Bitcoin that we use as a digital payment system. Yeah. So a lot of people are freaked out about Bitcoin. What are some reasons people are skeptical against it? That's a good question. One question I've been asked before is who controls it? Everyone always wants to know who's in charge, right? Who's the CEO? Yeah. Because we're so conditioned to this kind of system. But that is the thing. And it's kind of scary for some people, but there is no control over it. It's a program at the end of the day, and there's no governing body. You know, there's no government organization that really has say. I mean, specific governments will try to regulate the markets to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the people that use it. And as long as people use it, there will be some kind of value to it. Just as long as we use paper money, there's value to it. As long as it's exchanged, right?
Right, and some people have made some good points. For example, nobody foresaw the use of e-commerce or smartphones or social media, but these things adopted and ramped up quickly.
Yes.
So do you think this could happen with these crypto technologies? Is that the right way to say it? Crypto technology?
Cryptocurrencies.
Cryptocurrencies.
Or blockchain technology.
Blockchain technology, okay.
I think it's very rapid right now. It's kind of becoming a household word. Whereas when I first got into it, if I talked to someone about Bitcoin, they would look at me like I was crazy. They would look at me like I had a hole in my face or something.
Right.
But now it's people know, like even older people who aren't really so in touch with technology know what it is, or have at least heard about it. But I think the biggest hurdle to mass adoption is that as it stands now, it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of know-how in order to safely, because the reason why I say safely is because if you're dealing with Bitcoin, you're in charge of securing your funds. So, if someone, hacks into your funds or something, then it's your fault. You don't have anyone to blame. Whereas if you have your money in a bank,
you can't call customer service.
Exactly, you can't call customer service. So there's a big hurdle as far as the knowledge you need to safely and effectively maneuver in that space. So I think until some second party or third party comes about and makes it more user friendly, I don't really think it's gonna be ready to really take over until that happens, because either more people need to be educated and know how to use it and how to purchase it, how to store it, etc., or there needs to be some huge company that's going to say, look, we make it or manage it for you. You just need this app or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to cross over. They would say to be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
Yeah.
And if Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency becomes the primary source of transactions, I think a lot of the ills in the dodgy stuff we have with banks will seep into it. Will be interesting if they can keep it out.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But I think one thing that's interesting about the currencies is that I think a lot of old people will go for it. I think a lot of old people, the thing that they have a lot of money that they're sitting on, usually older people, and they also don't trust the government. They've been around a long time. So I think these cryptocurrencies are going to be very attractive to a lot of tech unsavvy people. What do you think about that?
I think you have a point. I think that's, they'll probably more so than young people have money to invest. But I think that's, like I said before, it's just, there's such a, I've spent so many hours reading about these kind of technologies, just really obsessing over it. And I still feel like there's so much I don't know.
Right.
So,
well, I guess we all got to learn.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. I'm going to repeat again. By the way, is the voice clear or not?
Yeah, somehow.
Clear or somehow?
Yeah.
For me, I muted here, but I play it in the Telegram. It will be more clearer than here.
Clearer than here. Okay. You have Telegram, you have Google Class, you can play from there. I'm going to repeat again. It is a long audio.
So, Anthony, we're talking about Bitcoin. Now, you've invested in Bitcoin before.
Yeah, a bit. I stopped because I was getting a little anxious about seeing my portfolio swing up and down by $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in a day, and I kind of decided that I would take out the money that I invested in it and just let my profits ride, basically.
Right. So basically, originally, then you were using Bitcoin for speculative purposes, right? Not to actually buy things. You were using it as a means to actually make transactions.
That is correct. I've only bought one thing with Bitcoin, and that was it's called a hardware wallet, which is basically, it looks like a USB stick, but it's a way to secure your funds.
So do you think that in the future we will have people using Bitcoins more, like it's going to become a viable alternative actually for commerce to pay for things?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think Bitcoin will be what we all use, but it's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely the archetype for what is
a pioneer.
Yes, the pioneering technology. There's going to be something that is similar to Bitcoin that we use as a digital payment system.
Yeah. So a lot of people are freaked out about Bitcoin. What are some reasons people are skeptical against it?
That's a good question. One question that I've been asked before is who controls it? Everyone always wants to know who's in charge, right? Who's the CEO?
Yeah.
Because we're so conditioned to this kind of system. But that is the thing. And it's kind of scary for some people, but there is no control over it. It's a program at the end of the day, and there's no governing body. There's no government organization that really has to say. I mean, specific governments will try to regulate the markets to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the people that use it. And as long as people use it, there will be some kind of value to it. Just as long as we use paper money, there's value to it. As long as it's exchanged, right?
Right. And some people have made some good points. For example, nobody foresaw the use of e-commerce or smartphones or social media, but these things adopted and ramped up quickly.
Yes.
So do you think this could happen with these crypto technologies? Is that the right way to say it? Crypto technology?
Cryptocurrencies, or blockchain technology.
Blockchain technology, okay.
I think it's very rapid right now. It's kind of becoming a household word. Whereas when I first got into it, if I talked to someone about Bitcoin, they would look at me like I was crazy. They would look at me like I had a hole in my face or something.
Right.
But now it's people know, like even older people who aren't really so in touch with technology know what it is, or have at least heard about it. But I think the biggest hurdle to mass adoption is that as it stands now, it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of know-how in order to safely, because the reason why I say safely is because if you're dealing with Bitcoin, you're in charge of securing your funds. So, if someone, hacks into your funds or something, then it's your fault. You don't have anyone to blame. Whereas if you have your money in a bank,
you can't call customer service.
Exactly, you can't call customer service. So there's a big hurdle as far as the knowledge you need to safely and effectively maneuver in that space. So I think until some second party or third party comes about and makes it more user friendly, I don't really think it's gonna be ready to really take over until that happens, because either more people need to be educated and know how to use it and how to purchase it, how to store it, etc., or there needs to be some huge company that's going to say, look, we make it or manage it for you. You just need this app or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to cross over. They always say be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
Yeah.
And if Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency becomes the primary source of transactions, I think a lot of the ills in that you have with banks will seep into it. It'll be interesting if they can keep it out.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But I think one thing that's interesting about the currencies is that I think a lot of old people will go for it. I think a lot of old people usually are hesitant about technology and change, but the thing that they have a lot of money that they're sitting on, usually older people, and they also don't trust the government. They've been around a long time. And so I think these cryptocurrencies are going to be very attractive to a lot of tech unsavvy people. What do you think about that?
I think you have a point. I think that's, yeah, they'll probably more so than young people have money to invest. But I think that's, like I said before, it's just there's such a, you know, I've spent like so many hours reading about these kind of technologies, just really obsessing over it. And I still feel like there's so much I don't know. Right. So, well, I guess we all got to learn. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Benin, Lebanon, yeah. Benin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just please, can you show me the first question? It is not on the screen.
Yeah. Now.
Okay. Number 1. Why did Antonio stop investing in Bitcoin? The answer is B. He was anxious.
He was anxious.
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 Yes.
Yeah. He was anxious. Okay. How about Hamid? Chill.
Yes.
All right, Hamid.
What does he think? What does he think in archetype of future payment systems? Yes, cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Okay.
May I
Carbon.
answer?
Carbon.
Yes, yes,
Number 3.
yes.
Number 3. Carbon.
بس الشاشة نزلها. شكرا أستاذ. What is the biggest hurdle in cryptocurrency adoption? Number A, the knowledge required.
Knowledge acquired.
Yeah,
Okay. Ala Ali Jasim.
Yes. Why does Told think other people will use culture rents more? C. They have more money to invest.
Okay. We have Ghadir Ja'far.
Yes. When dealing with Bitcoin, who in charge of securing your funds? Be you.
The government, you, customer service, so it is B. Okay. Hawra Haidar. Hawra Haidar.
Yes, sir.
What?
Is this answer right?
Yes, you. It is you.
I mean the third one, I think. Sorry, fourth one.
What is? Fourth one? It is they have more money to invest.
But I heard in the video that the young people have more money to invest.
Yeah.
So
So.
how?
Yeah. Please. You need to listen to the audio again, and then we'll see. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Laura,
Yes, sir.
please read vocabulary number 1 at the end of the day.
Learn vocabulary from the lesson at the end of the day. It's program at the end of the day. At the end of day means ultimately and refers to conclusion. Notice the following. Number 1. It does not matter what you think, it is her decision at the end of the day. Number 2. At the end of the day, he is part of the family.
Thank you very much.
Household word.
Thank you.
It is kind of
Everyone, note the following. Facebook is now household. Texting has been household word for years.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
there is no government organization that really has a say. Having say in something means to have a power over something. Note the following. Everyone should have a say in deciding their own future. Number 2, she should have a say in what type of cake to get.
Okay, thank you. Saja Nasser, big hurdle.
Big hurdle. So there is a big hurdle. A big hurdle means an obstacle. Notice the following. Number 1, the house declares a big hurdle. Number 2, the project was a big hurdle in achieving their aim.
Okay, user-friendly.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Yusuf.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yusuf.
Yes, user-friendly or
friendly.
User-friendly makes it more user-friendly. When something is user-friendly, it's easy to say. Notice the following. Number 1, they made a user-friendly app for all the adults. 2, its user-friendly screen was a hit with everyone.
Okay. Obsessing over it. نور الهدى علوان.
Yes. Obsessing over it, just really obsessing over it. When we obsess over something, you spend too much time and effort on it. Note the following. 1, she was obsessing over the details of the party. 2, he obsessed over his project till it was perfect.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Batul, number 1.
It's important that everyone has to say on his matter.
Okay, has to say or everyone has to say. Correct. Just a minute. Check. Zainab Hassan, Saeed.
Yes, she tends to obsess over her looks.
Over her looks. Number 3.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, let me check. somebody who has not participated. Qadir Jafar.
Yes.
Qadir, number 3, at the.
At the end of the day, we all regret.
What's the meaning of regret, Qadir?
يعني هذا
Regret.
I forget.
I regret coming to the class.
اتندم أو الندم. Yep.
So, feel sorry. We all feel sorry, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sabrine?
Yes.
Number 4.
Getting my first slant was a big hurdle.
Yeah, client, Ghadir. Client. Sorry, Sabrine.
Okay.
Client. What's the meaning of client?
مهنة job.
أستاذ عميل.
Getting عميل yeah. ذلك customer. Okay. حنين صباح. Number 5.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
5. Coffee has become a household word.
Okay. انتظار. 6.
Yes. Number 6, as must be user-friendly to success.
Okay. What's the meaning of user-friendly?
Easy to use.
Easy to use. Thank you very much. Thanks. Now we have a long video, so still students are raising their hands. For example, حوراء حميدة وأسماء ماظم وآيات مهدي بتول ورأفت حوراء. So please lower your hands. Raisha as well. Raisha متأخرة. Raisha, do you want to say something?
No sir. كنت رافعة ايدي بس وحكيت بس سمعتني فنزلت ايدي. يا مستر.
Do you want to say something?
No.
منا.
No.
Still asleep? No sleeping?
No sir. مريضة.
يا الله دخيلك.
لا تخافون أستاذ مو كورونا.
الله يشفيك إن شاء الله.
تسلم أستاذ.
أهلا ومرحبا. So I wish that you would recover your health soon. We're going to shift to another thing about certain expressions. I want you to listen carefully and write them down. Can you or can't you?
Basically having a temperature. Okay? So you put
Just a minute, I'm going to share this. Yes.
You want us to write it in the comment or when?
No. Right. You have a piece of paper and write them.
Yeah.
These words, expressions, okay? Because I'm going to ask you later about them.
Sir, is the video about the coronavirus?
Yeah. I'm going to post the link in the chat box for you. You can open it. That is the link. It is maybe 10 minutes. Takes 10 minutes maybe. Okay, shall we start?
Okay, sir, go ahead.
I open it.
Yeah, you can listen to it until I'm done with it.
Okay.
Sir, it's a 39 minutes.
39?
Yeah.
39 minutes or 10 minutes?
No, 39.
Sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
Yes, too long.
1/2 an hour. Okay, so we'll take, let us say 10 minutes, and then we stop. I will continue next time. Maybe you can watch it home another time, okay? But please try to pay attention to the words, the expressions used, because I'm going to ask you after 10 minutes, I'll ask you about them.
Yes, we should listen it or watch it.
Yeah?
Wherever you are, I hope
Just for 10 minutes or for what?
Now for 10 minutes, then you watch it home.
challenging time for all of us. And we have a lot of information coming at us, so much information, so fast, that it can make us feel confused.
Sir, I'm going to leave.
So there's also a lot of new vocabulary.
I'll watch it and then I'll come back.
Okay.
So I wanted to help you.
Me too, sir.
This vocabulary in English, and also to be able to speak about it to your friends or colleagues, or even to medical staff if you need to. Alright? So this video is going to be a little bit different from our usual lesson, but I'm going to try to give you a lot of information that I hope will help you. Alright? So first of all, just a few points. As you know,
is the voice clear or not for you, please? Is there a voice or no voice?
No voice.
No voice at all?
Yes.
How come?
أستاذ إذا إحنا دخلنا الرابط ونشغله يعني يمنا صوت واضح.
إيه okay, do it. Do it.
إيه بس لأنه أنت كنت مشغله فصار يعني شلون بالصوت منا ومنا.
Okay, do it. I'm going to play it anyway.
we have a lot of information coming at us, so much information, so fast, that it can make us feel confused, worried, and scared sometimes, right? So there's also a lot of new vocabulary. And
when I do sharing the voice goes some, I don't know. I have to stop sharing.
Today, I'm connecting with you from my home. And maybe you're watching or working from your home during this time of the coronavirus. Wherever you are, I hope you and your family are all safe and well. And yeah, this is a difficult, challenging time for all of us. And we have a lot of information coming at us, so much information, so fast, that it can make us feel confused and worried and scared sometimes, right? So there's also a lot of new vocabulary and old vocabulary that's being used in different ways. So I wanted to help you to understand this vocabulary in English and also to be able to speak about it to your friends or colleagues or even to medical staff if you need to. All right? So this video is going to be a little bit different from our usual lessons, but I'm going to try to give you a lot of information that I hope will help you. All right? So first of all, just a few points. As you know, I'm an English teacher, right? I'm not a doctor, and I'm teaching you English. I am not giving you any medical advice. Second, when it comes to your health, it's so important that you communicate and listen, hear, understand in your own language as much as possible. When it comes to your health, you want to be as clear as possible about the instructions that people give you. Okay? So whenever possible, use your own native language for that purpose. However, if you live right now in an English-speaking country and you need to understand what's being said around you about this virus by the medical authorities, by the media, then this video will definitely help you. And also, if you just want to use this time to improve your English, to be able to understand more of what's being said, be able to discuss this issue, the problems, the issues, the solutions, okay? Then again, this lesson will give you many of the words and concepts that you need to be able to do that. Okay? So let's get started. So first of all, let's start with the name of this illness. Officially now, it's called COVID-19. That comes from the words coronavirus disease 2019. All right? So how do we say that somebody has this virus or this illness? We can do it in a number of different ways. For example, you could say he has COVID-19, or you could make it negative and say he doesn't have COVID-19. Another way, you could just say he has coronavirus, or he doesn't have coronavirus. Okay? They're using different terms for this illness. They're saying COVID-19, coronavirus, the coronavirus, the new coronavirus, the novel coronavirus. Novel just means new, okay? So you might hear different expressions for this illness itself. Another way you could say it is, as I said, you could say she has the coronavirus instead of just saying she has coronavirus. Both ways are being used. Or she doesn't have the coronavirus, all right? A little more formal way that they often use, and you might hear on the news, is they tested positive for the coronavirus, or they tested negative for COVID-19. So if somebody tested positive, it means they have the virus. And if they tested negative, they don't have the virus. All right? Let's go on from there. So what are some of the symptoms that people might have if they have this illness? So what does the word symptoms mean? It means that you're showing some kind of physical or mental signs of this illness. And what are some of those common symptoms of the coronavirus? First one is a cough. What's a cough? Something like this. Right? You know that. And you saw, of course, and you know, because I'm sure you get this advice in your language, that if you need to cough or if someone is coughing, they should cough where? In the bend of their elbow. Okay? This is your elbow. You should cough in here. All right? That's a cough. How do we say that? How do we use it in a sentence? He has a cough. Another symptom, a cold. What's a cold? You know, when your nose is running and you're going all day long, okay? Or you take a tissue and you blow your nose, all right? Then you would say, she has a cold, all right? Another symptom, sneezing. What does it mean to sneeze? I'll try to show you. Okay? Again, into this part of your elbow. He is sneezing, is how we would say that in a sentence. Next is a fever. What does it mean to have a fever? It means you're feeling, warm or hot, right? So how would we say that? You would say, she has a fever. He has a fever. And what are some of the other words connected with having a fever? Basically having a temperature, okay? So you could also say he has a temperature. Temperature just measures like the amount of heat in your body, right? If you tell somebody that someone has a fever, probably the next question will be, what's his temperature? Or what's her temperature? Or what's your temperature, right? So we could say, his temperature is 39 degrees. Or his temperature is 101 degrees. Okay, there's different measurements, right? Celsius and Fahrenheit. Another symptom is a body ache. What does it mean to ache? It means to hurt, right? Body feels sore. So the other way you can say that in a sentence is her body hurts. Okay, if you're describing to someone else what's happening to someone. A person might also feel fatigue. Fatigue just means very, very tired, okay? A lot of exhaustion, a lot of tiredness. And the way we would use that in a sentence really is just to say, or to convey this meaning, is to say he's very tired, all right? Or he's feeling very tired. Also, the person might experience difficulty breathing. What does it mean to breathe? Okay, to breathe is like this. Of course, you don't have to close your eyes like I just did, okay? You can just... Okay, this is breathing. So if somebody is finding it hard to breathe, you could say, it's hard for her to breathe, all right? So those are the symptoms. Now let's look at some more advanced words, some more advanced nouns that are being used about this subject. So 3 very common advanced words that are being used are the words outbreak, epidemic, and pandemic. So think of it this way, first of all. An outbreak is like this, an epidemic is like this, and a pandemic is like that. All right? So an outbreak is when something happens suddenly, so a lot of people are affected. In this case, how were those people affected? They got a disease. Okay? So there was an outbreak in Wuhan, China. Next, when the outbreak spread to more people or other areas, it became an epidemic. Then, the WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic. The WHO stands for World Health Organization, all right? And they said that now this disease has become a pandemic. So that means the epidemic now spread to an even larger area, maybe even all over the world, and became a pandemic. So another word that you might hear a lot is that the health authorities took various measures to deal with this situation. So measures here is just like actions or steps, right, that they took in order to try to control this problem. Another word is transmission. They wanted to limit the transmission of the virus. So transmission just means the spread of the virus, the passing on of the virus to other people, to more people, okay? Transmission. All right, let's continue. Isolation. So a lot of people are being asked to go into isolation if they have the virus. So isolation means that somebody has to be alone. They have to be away from everybody else for health reasons. So people who have the coronavirus must be in isolation. They must be away from everybody else. Another word that's being used, which is similar in meaning but a little bit different, is the word quarantine. So people who might have the coronavirus are asked to be in quarantine. So here also, they're being asked to stay away from other people because maybe there's a chance that they have the virus. For example, suppose somebody went on a flight and then they found out that somebody on the flight had this virus. So then everybody else who flew on that particular flight might be asked to go into self-quarantine just in case they are infected by this virus. Okay? So you'll also hear these kind of words. You should self-isolate. You should self-quarantine. Okay? That means you do it to yourself and by yourself. Okay, another word is lockdown. A lot of cities and countries right now are either in lockdown or under lockdown or on lockdown. Okay, we use different prepositions there. What does that mean? You probably do know because it might be happening where you are or somewhere else that you've read about. It means that people are not allowed to go where they want. Schools, shops, offices, businesses, restaurants, movie theaters, and lots of other places are shut down, okay? Also, maybe travel is restricted. There are many different aspects to a lockdown. A word, a kind of technical word that's being used, but a very important word, expression is really community spread or community transmission. So this happens when a disease spreads in the community, but the health authorities don't know how people got that disease. Okay, and they're very concerned about community spread. The next word I know you probably do know for sure, face mask, right? The white mask that people are wearing, many people are wearing face masks. All right, so those were many of the nouns that we're hearing today on the news. Now let's look at some of the verbs. Okay.
Okay, Beni Lebanon, yeah?
Yes. So, will you ask me or I give some comments about this video?
Okay, comment please. Okay, no problem.
Okay. This video is talking about COVID-19. There's a teacher. She's not a doctor. She's declared that, and she's give us some advice and some familiar and common terms used in this period. For example, COVID-19. This is an acronym for coronavirus diseases 2019. Also, she tell us that when someone has this disease, there is a formal speech to tell that. So we say they tested positive for coronavirus. It means that the person has this disease, and if the person don't have that disease, we say they tested a negative for coronavirus. And also she talks about the symptoms. It's some kind of physical or mental signs of this illness. She talks about the cough, and the person who coughs should cough at the bend of the elbow. Another symptoms, the cold, and as she described it, when your nose is running and you need the tissue. Also the sneezing, the fever and feels warm and hot. It's accompanied with the word temperature. You should check your temperature if you feel by this symptoms. Another symptoms, the body ache, the Fatigue, it means very tired, difficult of breathing. Also, she talks about some verbs used at this time. For example, the verb outbreak. It means a lot of people affected by it, and the word epidemic, it's bigger than outbreak. It means that.
Benin, you did a very nice thing. Benin, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes. Let me check with those who raised their hands. We have Qasim. Yes, please, Qasim. This is the first time.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry for letting because there is some problems with the internet connection.
Okay.
Yes, the video, as I know, talking about coronavirus that had been spread so quickly in the whole of the world. So, as I hear from the teacher, give us some advices and some symptoms that we can suffering when someone affected by this dynamic virus. At the first, she talking about this coronavirus, from where it's coming, and so on. Some symptoms that we can, if suffering from them when we injured in coronavirus, like cough. We see people sometimes cough, also feel cold. In addition, they cannot breathe very well. They have suffering in their breathing, or maybe the use. Maybe their lungs may affect on their breathing, and fever, and the temperature of the blood may be higher. So also talking about how to endure this coronavirus and avoid to injure coronavirus by wearing gloves and mask and live social distance between us. So, and finally, give us some words that we can use it in our daily life with.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Qasim. Thanks a lot. We have Rasha, Haydar, Abdul Hussein, Abdul Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
اللقب موجود بعده.
استاذ وين تريد توصل؟
رشا، حيدر، عبد الحسين، عبد محمد، شنو؟ What is?
آل محمد.
آل محمد. Okay. Yes.
آل محمد. This video take about COVID-19 and this teacher give some idea and some advice about this virus. The symptoms of this virus called sneezing, fever, temperature, the body, and temperature is 39 degrees. And body and fatigue. He is very tired, and there are some notice about this virus. There was an outbreak in Wuhan, China, and when the outbreak separate, it is become an epidemic, and the declared COVID-19 in pandemic. The health authorities took virus materials, and they wanted to limit the transmission of the virus.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Ra'ad, لطيف خلخال معموري.
I heard from this teacher that she was talking about COVID-19 and its name came from coronavirus disease and the year of 2019. And she told about the symptoms of this disease, like cough when we affected by this virus, and also cold when the body gets cold, and also sneezing when somebody sneezes, and also fever. Fever means the temperature of the body gets higher. And also...
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Batul. Thank you, Batul.
Yes, sir. We have different expression for the illness, like COVID-19, coronavirus, the coronavirus. When you need to cough, you should cough in the bend of your elbow. A cold means the nose is running. Sneezing, a fever, you feel warm or hot. Body ache, to hurt, or your body feels sore. Fatigue means very tired. We can say that he is feeling tired. And difficulty breathing, we can say it's hard for her to breathe. We have advanced word for the illness or COVID-19, for example, outbreak, epidemic, and pandemic. We have also isolation.
Thank you very much.
We have, if we have something has the virus, we should isolate it.
Thank you, Batul. Thanks a lot. انتظار.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The teacher mentioned that the health authorities took various measures, means action, many steps to control this problem. One of the two, they want to limit the transmission of the virus. She mentioned a very popular word in this period, it's isolation, like cold, couch, and fever, and difficulty breathing, that mean bad breathing, and seizing, and temperature, and body ache, and the teacher talking about some nouns, like there was an outbreak in Wuhan, China, and when the outbreak spread, it became epidemic, and the health authorities took various measures, and they wanted to limit the transition of the virus.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Are you listening? Excuse me, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to another student who's ready to talk. We have Asma.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This teacher is also talk about some words like outbreak, epidemic, and pandemic. And outbreak means when something happens suddenly and how the people affect maybe
all the people is carry the virus, and also it's talk about measures, and it means actions or steps when government is take measures or steps to. Okay, let's take another step. And we also have a transmission and isolation. Isolation mean if you have or if you carry the virus, so you must be in isolation. Don't meet with your friends, family, and also we have quarantine. Quarantine mean if you may have the virus or you may not have it. So you must be in quarantine for 14 days. And another word that related to the isolation and quarantine is self-isolate and self-quarantine. And also lockdown. Lockdown, for example, when we say the city in lockdown, that means that nobody can go to the school, to the university, to the business, to the office. Don't allow them to go to the everywhere. Just stay in their home. And also we have community spirits and face masks. Face masks that we wear it when we go to any place, supermarket, and so on.
Okay, thank you. Ali Jason, do you want to?
Yes. Here the teacher talk about the virus corona, a disease that leads to human health even after its effects remain clear on the patents. And when outbreak in Wuhan, China, when the outbreak spread, it became epidemic. The WHO declared COVID-19 pandemic. We have some bottom cough. It's called sneezy fever. And difficult breathing mean bad breathing. And temperature 39. And body hurts.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Enough.
Okay, thank you very much. Azhar Qadir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You want to say something about this video?
Yes. She was English teacher and not doctor to give medical advice. She went to say and she went to give important message about difficult change and worry and about that disease, which was outbreak of Wuhan, China, and it's considered as warring.
Yeah.
It's considered as difficult disease according to the World Health Organization. So you.
Okay.
I have a simple problem.
No, it's okay. Very nice.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thanks a lot. Let me check with anybody else. Anyone else wants to say something? Any student like to say something?
Yes, it's all our friends or colleagues said all of things. I think so.
Okay, maybe somebody would like to say something. Wants to speak? Yeah. Who would like to speak about this video? Hamad Taqiya?
Yes, here we can see this doctor that's talk about, give us some words that help us in order to talks about the issue of coronavirus. Let's first of all clarify what means by the COVID-19. It's a acronym to the words coronavirus disease 2019. And here, this disease has many symptoms. One of them, it's coughing, cold means flu, sneezing when the human beings get out the air inside his body. Fever means when some person has high temperature, and body ache and fatigue means when some person reach to the extremity of the tiredness. And we have also. And we can see many cities across the world, across to the lockdown, and public places they are also sealed off. It means closed, and the government take many measures in order to it means procedures to make it to limit this virus. And the people that they get this virus or they suspect that they have it, certainly they will put them in the quarantine. And you can see maybe a lot of people that they has a good hold of the foods that they have it in their houses because they can go from their houses. And we have some organization that's working out to solve this problem. That's WHO. It means World Health Organization.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
عفوا أستاذ.
Yes, يوسف.
أستاذ بس الرابط بالتعليقات أنا ما يشتغل عندي. وعندك بالجوجل كلاس يقول تم التسليم مؤخرا عادي يعني؟
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, anybody would like to say something? To add something? Something that we didn't mention? Or any comment?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yes.
Yes, the last lecture, the previous lecture, I didn't record my name in attendance because the server internet has been cut off.
Okay. Anyway, they are already submitted to the department. Anyway, it makes no difference. It's okay. Anything else? Nothing.
هاي أستاذ.
رانيا مودياس.
إيه أنا ترقيم قاعد بس البارحة كنت فين دكتور رئيس قال يسوي لي إيميل بس لحد الآن ما سوى لي إيميل الفورمة مع الحضور ما يفتح إيميل الرابط يقول يونيت بس أنا يعني لحد الآن إيميلي مو رسمي.
صحيح.
فما أعرف تقدر تسجل اسمي بالقائمة لأن أكو أساتذة يسجلوا آخر شيء.
لا
المحاضرة.
مو أسجل فراح أشيل التقييد عن I'm going to leave the restrictions and then you can do it.
أوكي يعني حتى لو متأخر؟
Yeah, no problem.
أوكي.
Just a minute. One response, because I think was not made.